absolutely love owning my Land Rover Defender. It's such a special vehicle. Not only is it such an iconic and legendary car, but also fellow owners really acknowledge the fact that you've also chosen such a special car to own. And when you're on the road, they even give you a little wave as you drive past another Defender, and I absolutely love that. It's such a good network of people that own these vehicles. And that's through all of the quirks, because believe me, there are quite a few quirks that come with owning one of these cars. For instance, my left leg is absolutely huge. I've got so many muscles in this one leg, whereas my right leg is a little bit feeble. And that is all because of this clutch in this car, because this clutch is so heavy. I have a daily workout on my left leg. But I don't mind that. I also don't mind the fact that it's not the most refined drive. I've got nowhere to put my left arm. I kind of just have to sit here as if I'm driving a touring car. And I don't mind that my back's a little bit achy when I get out of it, because I can have so much fun in this thing, off-road and on-road and everywhere I go. So I'm not complaining. This is an amazing car. It's got such good heritage. It's got such a good group of fellow owners that own these things also. And it is super, super cool and iconic. I love it. I love the fact that when you're driving this thing and you see a fellow Land Rover on the road, you can give it a little wave and they acknowledge you. But I'm not sure what the rule is when you see one of the new Land Rover Defenders, because that is effectively the devil. So do we let on to those drivers? I'm not sure. If you know the answer to that, please comment below and let me know. Oh, that's a bit of a coincidence. Here is a new Land Rover Defender now. Should I let on to him or should I not? See whether he makes the first move.
Morning.
Morning. He did. Well, he's kindly left the ignition running. It's in gear, handbrake's off. Let's go. Hey, this thing is easier to steal than the old Defender. I must say, driving the new Defender is nothing like driving my old Defender. This thing, although it does feel like a big car to drive, it's just like driving a car. It's comfortable, there's virtually no road noise. It is nice to drive. Now, I should say that I haven't actually stolen this car. I've borrowed it from a friend called Andrew, and he owns a car competition website called Car Source and UK Competitions. And interestingly, you can actually win yourself one of these Land Rover Defenders brand new. And along with the car that you would win, if you do win, you get a cash prize. So it's about $10.99 to enter, so it could be worth checking out. I'll leave all the information about that website and the competition in the description below. Now, this Defender does get quite a lot of hate online, and being somebody that owns the older Defender, I can kind of understand why. When I seen that the new Defender was being launched, I was quite reluctant to even look at it, let alone take it for a test drive, because I suppose I was deep down worried that I may fall out of love with my Defender and in love with the new Defender. But for me, it's not about comparing the two vehicles. If you want to buy the old Defender, then you will go and buy an old Defender and you'll know all the reasons why it is that you want that car. For me, this Defender, it's a new breed, it's a new generation. Although it does share the Defender name, and although it does have a lot of the design traits of the older Defender, it's a completely different vehicle. And interestingly, recently I've been looking for a 4x4, an off-roader for work. I want something big and practical, and this could be the perfect fit because it's got a lot going for it as a 4x4. It's the Defender 110 D200 and it's a 2-litre diesel. There are a few options when it comes to speccing your new Defender. Of course, we've still got the 90 and 110 variants, which relates to the wheelbase. And now there's a hybrid model. Now, owning such an analogue car as my Defender, I had to look up to see exactly what a hybrid was. And apparently, it's when they combine a battery and a combustion engine. Seems like quite a novel idea, doesn't it? There's an X Dynamic model, a Defender X, a Defender Hardtop. Then there's a bucket load of accessory packs that you can spec your Defender even further with. There's country packs, urban packs, so there should be something for everybody when it comes to this new car. This particular Defender is a bit of a basic model, but I am starting to warm to its looks. Entry-level model comes well equipped with LED headlights, heated powered folding door mirrors, 18-inch steel wheels, 4-wheel drive with high and low range options, and air suspension on the 110 model, whilst the 90 only gets conventional suspension. There's 8-way part electronic front heated seats, a 360-degree camera system, front and rear parking sensors, and cruise control. Infotainment is taken care of by this 10-inch central screen, and that's got sat-nav, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, while safety is covered by automatic emergency braking, lane keeping assistance and traffic sign recognition. Now that's a lot of gear, and I think it's a sign of how things have changed. This car was designed in this decade and it's modern. The interior of the car is also quite cool. It's not quite as luxurious as, let's say, a Discovery, but it does have everything that you'd want from a modern day car. There are also little touches that remind you that this car was built for adventure. For instance, we can see these fixings dotted about, which I feel does hark back a little bit to my car. So overall, I'm quite impressed with the cabin. Side by side, the new Defender looks a lot beefier than the old Defender. It makes my car look a little bit small. Let's give you a little tour around the new Defender to see what we've got. Certainly, it does feel a little bit more plasticky. My car feels a little bit more rigid, but am I complaining? I don't think so. I love the fact that we've got these tread plates still on the bonnet. This particular car has got 20-inch wheels, so they've been upgraded. The flank, it certainly harks back to the old Defender. It's got a similar shape and it's almost identifiable as a Defender. I'm not entirely sure what this is for. I don't know whether that's a design piece or an afterthought, or... Yeah, no, it's well and truly stuck on. That doesn't come off. So yeah, no, I am a fan of the flank. I think it's quite nice. It does look the part. I've seen some really cool adventure packs that you can stick onto the side of it, and you get ladders up the side of this and all sorts, so it can be spec'd pretty cool. When you look at the back of the two vehicles, you can really see that this is the Defender. You can tell it's taken the influence from this old car, and it's great to see they've kept the big spare wheel on there. The boot. Now this car is in use, so it does have signs of use. It's got umbrellas and tissues and things that you use for life, but it's very hard wearing in here. I love the fact that the floor is... I'm not sure what this is made out of, but it's... I think I broke it. But it's very hard wearing. I'm going to leave that. There's plenty of little cubby holes as well. I know in my car, we've got a net on the back of this door, and that is quite useful. But on the new Defender, we've got a development of the net, so that is quite good. It's excellent that this door stays where it should. It's got almost like a little lock there, whereas when you open this door, it doesn't. So you have to kind of awkwardly load, which is very, very awkward. So I'd probably buy a new Defender just for that. This car has an 8-speed automatic gearbox, and overall it does a very good job. With it being an auto, my left leg's got a hell of a lot less work to do than what it does in my car. And the ride of this thing, I must say, is quite good. I am quite impressed. As a daily driver, it would be almost perfect. But we have to remember that this car is an off-roader, and it shouldn't be all about the drive on the road. We do need to see what it's like off-road. But this isn't my car, so please forgive me when I do take it a little bit soft off-road, and the roads that we're going to use are a little bit tame. But nevertheless, we'll get a good sense of what this vehicle would be like if you owned it. And you could punish it as much as you like, but I do have to give this car back very shortly. That's a big one. Mud flap. Jumping out of my Defender and getting into this Defender, the first thing that you notice is that the ride, because of the air suspension, is much more comfortable. And even on these mildly off-road roads, you just seem to glide over all of the bumps and everything that the land has to throw at you. And I suppose I do like that, but at the same time, combined with the automatic gearbox, you just don't have that much pleasure in driving off-road. It's a bit bland. It's just like going on a drive. And I like the struggle that my car throws at me. I like the strain that I have to go through. It reminds me of what a car should be like to drive, designed in the 40s. So there we have it. Is the new Defender as good as the old Defender? Well, in my opinion, no. I love my Defender because it's got character, it's got history, it's got style. But I certainly would buy a new Defender because this thing's an absolute beast. It's from a manufacturer that certainly knows how to make off-roaders, and it is so practical. I love the fact that I can still stand on the bonnet and take photos. I can still load all my gear into the back of it and go to work. I can still use it as a family car. It would make the perfect daily driver. So I have got a little bit of love for the new Defender. But would I part exchange my Defender for it? Probably not. So there we have it, the most confusing review ever in the history of car reviews. Please don't forget to help support the channel by liking and subscribing, and don't forget that you can win yourself a brand new Land Rover Defender. I've left the link to the competition site below. And you can love two things at once. There goes something really expensive in the boot.